2, 1, and we're live.
Hello and welcome to a special Christmas edition of That's Life, where we'll be delving into the world of dating and finding love at this festive time of year.
That's right, and we have psychotherapist Rachel Morris who will look into the psychology of dating, and we have a sketch showing how not to date.
We'll also be asking you, the public, what you think about finding love at Christmas and whether it's better to be spent with someone special.
As well as that, we'll be meeting a couple who enjoyed a 36-year-long relationship, and we'll investigate how the dating has changed over time.
And if that isn't enough, our trusty roving reporter Aaron is back, this time with a live speed dating session we've set up to hopefully find some magic matchmaking of our own.
As always, you can get in contact with the show and share your thoughts and ideas on our topics over on Twitter at That's Live TV or on our Facebook page. So let's cross over to Aaron, who's live as the speed dating gets underway.
That's right. Today we're bringing you a live speed dating session in the hope of finding a match for Christmas. Now today we have 8 people, 4 girls, 4 guys. If you don't know how speed dating works, basically each couple will have 6 minutes together before the guys move on to the next table. At the end of it, we're going to pick the 2 people who we think clicked the most and send them on a real date. Let's have a chat with a couple of them now and see how they're feeling. How you going, Greg?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far.
Having a good time, so no nerves or anything?
I did have it first, but Bex has really relaxed me into this, so yeah.
Oh, Bex, a true professional. Fair enough.
Had many dates.
So is it, you've had many dates?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of dating in my time.
Any speed dating?
Never, so it's quite a new thing for me. It's a bit weird concept, but
A weird concept. So are you looking for love, Bex?
yes, I am.
In all the wrong places?
Probably, yeah. I'd say this is probably quite wrong.
No, I'm only kidding. How about you, Greg? Do you believe in love at first sight, mate?
Yeah, of course I do. It's got to be real, hasn't it? Some people say it's true, so why not believe them?
They do. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. We'll head back to you in the studio and we'll check back in later and see how they're all going.
Thank you for that, Aaron. Well, we look forward to finding out how things develop with the daters.
Research has shown that there's a huge spike in online dating over the Christmas period and that single people feel pressured into finding love. So we sent our reporter Lucy out into Manchester to find out what you think about the idea of finding love at Christmas.
So we're shortly approaching Christmas now, and I'm here on the Christmas markets to see what people think about true love at Christmas. Is it a myth that people like to find true love at Christmas, or is it just what the films tell us? We've got a lot of adverts telling us that you shouldn't be alone this Christmas. Do you need to go and find some love? So I'm going to go find out more from people on the streets of Manchester. Hi, so basically there's a lot of films that come out at Christmas and a lot of them are based around love. Do you think this creates a myth that everybody's looking for true love at Christmas?
Yeah, I do. I think it's like, because it's winter and everyone thinks that it's like time for like scarves and cosy, sitting in while it's cold. I think it just like makes everyone feel like they have to get it at that time of year.
I think it's nice when you're receiving gifts and all that as well. It's nice. It's nice for women.
It's a bit half and half. I think it is a romantic time of year, getting together with family and, you know, your emotions are running high and stuff. But it can be a stressful time as well, so.
In a girl's head, it's the fairy tale way for it to happen. But I think in a guy's, I think they're just...
Yeah, it's more of a gender thing.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for it, it'll happen. But I don't think it's something that, oh, Christmas time comes around, everyone finds love.
Honestly, like, I don't see any correlation between Christmas and finding love. Like, there's no such thing. I mean, I honestly feel that Christmas is more of a time you spend with your family. You go home, you meet your family, and just have a good time.
Maybe it's to do with people getting out of the house, Christmas shopping, so you're more likely to bump into people around Christmas time because everyone's out and about. And through the year people have got work and they're just keeping themselves to themselves. But at Christmas time, I think they're mixing more, aren't they? Like with the markets, people will bang into each other, do you want a drink, and then people just get talking.
Christmas is meant to be with the people you love, so when it's Christmas, it's one more reason to stay with people you like more. So it's not nice to be alone on Christmas, you know?
Well, we've certainly had some mixed opinions there. So, Rachel, what do you think about the whole stigma that's attached to finding love at Christmas?
Sorry, I was a bit thrown there because I thought I was going to be introduced. So, okay. Sorry. Is there a stigma to finding love at Christmas? I think there's a stigma attached to not finding love at Christmas, and I think that's more the point.
Right, and so we've got a tweet from Hannah in Brighton who says that having a partner, it means you have to buy them presents, and if you're single, you can just buy yourself presents instead. So Rachel,
I love that.
So you have a partner, don't you? So what would you say? Would you say that Christmas is more special together, or is it just another something expensive to worry about?
I think the whole point about Christmas it depends on where you grew up and what you grew up with, your idea of Christmas. For me, it's about being connected to the people that I care about, and if that happens to include romantic love as well as my family and my friends, then that's great. But I don't think it makes it any more special or any more important.
Okay, well, Rachel, welcome to the show first and foremost. Okay. There is a lot of films around Christmas, so they surround relationships, and it's kind of around romance. And I think that personally, it kind of makes people want to become in a relationship at that time in Christmas. I mean, what do you think about that? Being a relationship expert that you are,
I love that. An expert in writing only.
An expert, an expert in writing only. What do you believe around the Christmas films that surround Christmas? Do you think that do they make you want to be in a relationship if you weren't already in one?
No, they make me judge my relationship. They make me think my relationship's no good. It's rubbish compared to all the relationships you see on the movies. I think the whole point really is that Hollywood have put all of that time and money into creating this idea of something ideal, and it's no more ideal than at Christmas. It's like as if it isn't bad enough that most Hollywood movies start at the end of a real relationship. It's like Cinderella, yes,
yeah.
Where the whole story is about meeting, and then when you get together, they live happily ever after. The end. It's like, well, hang on a second. What do you mean the end? Really, if Hollywood started their films and their stories about relationships, what happened next? We'd have a bit more of a real picture.
And do you believe that some of the films surrounding Christmas, they just portray a perfect Christmas relationship? They don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's just nobody has a relationship like that. This idea of him and her, 'cause it's always very
like
heteronormative as well. Yeah, they're under the mistletoe.
There's
everything's sparkly and warm, and everybody's happy. And it's like, well, come on, that's not real. That doesn't include all the stress, the financial worries.
Yeah.
And I think it puts an enormous strains on couples to fake some idea of a perfect Christmas. I say just have the best one you can have and say that's good enough.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Rachel.
We had some fantastic opinions there, thank you very much. Christmas is a special time of year, particularly for new couples. It's that warm and fuzzy feeling of the first Christmas together that a lot of single people seek at this time of year. But what happens when you've been together much longer? Does Christmas does it still remain merry? We've spoke to a couple who've been together for 36 years to find out.
I'm really sorry. I didn't realise it was that.
On this week's Christmas edition of Nostalgia, we're joined by Anne and Dick from Blackburn.
I can remember when we first met. We first met in a pub. I was 15, and we'd gone in with my mate, and she'd asked Dick, would he go out with me? And he said, what do you think I am, a kidnapper? So later on that evening he came across it after he'd had a few drinks and asked me out. So I turned around and said, does Grandad condescend, remember?
Anne and Dick have 18 grandchildren, and spending quality time with them is important for them, especially over the Christmas holidays.
My Christmas traditions are family. I always like a lot of family around me, and I like baking and cooking and making things for the Christmas dinner. Yeah, Christmas is a lot better with sharing with somebody you love, because you're not as alone. I feel sorry for them people that are alone at Christmas, especially old age pensioners, because they have no family, because they need somebody there.
They've been married for 36 years, and although they've previously separated, they feel their relationship is stronger than ever.
My advice for future couples is to get somebody that will help you around the house, because I think that a relationship should be two people that share things. And and the only thing I've got against couples these days, they don't seem to stop together so long. You know what I mean? They haven't got the staying power that we used to, what we have. You know, that's the only advice I can think of. Go on.
Make sure you pick the right one.
Have you picked the right one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't imagine so after all these years.
No. You're not bad, are you?
Well, clearly Anne and Dick are looking forward to another Christmas together. However, Anne touches on the issue that many people, especially the elderly, will be alone at Christmas. And in a recent poll, by Age UK, it said that 2.1 million over 65s are said to be dreading Christmas about being alone. And would you agree that loneliness is a major issue around the Christmas period?
Yeah, it's hugely difficult. I think partly because as a nation, we put enormous kind of emphasis on family. And if you have lost your partner, you know, that happens as we get older, or your family have moved away and they maybe don't even live in the same country anymore. And one of the tragic things that happen as you get older is you start losing your friends. They die too. So it's a kind of, you know, awful sort of sense of a spotlight coming on your aloneness at Christmas. And of course you can't turn on the television without seeing how happy everybody else is with all of their people and in all of their love, with all of their wealth. And of course, how can we not compare ourselves to that and think, what did I do wrong? Why am I so lonely? And the problem with aloneness is that we end up asking ourselves, is it my fault? Did I not try hard enough to be loved? And of course, that's not the case.
I mean, there are quite a lot of charities out there at the moment, aren't there? Community, Christmas, and also Age UK, they set up things on Christmas Day for the elderly. How important do you think they actually are at Christmas time?
Gosh, I think there's some people that would say they wouldn't survive Christmas without it. And I think it's really good that you bring that up, actually, because a lot of people say to me, well, it's not just the elderly that are alone at Christmas. My whole client base, you know, unless they've recently got love dust in their eyes, are all kind of slightly dreading Christmas for one reason or another.
Any age,
yeah.
young, old.
If you're going to be on your own at Christmas because maybe you can't get home in time because you know, you might work here on Boxing Day, so therefore you can't go there for Christmas Day. There's lots of reasons you might find yourself alone at Christmas. But if you're unhappy about it, then get back to that idea of that nostalgic idea that Christmas is about giving and go and do something really useful. Find out what's happening in your local area where you can actually be really useful. If you don't want to be on your own at Christmas, don't be. Go and do something with somebody else that doesn't want to be alone at Christmas.
They're not the only person there. They don't know if there's other people in their situations, do they? So they could make new friends and...
Well, it's not even about making new friends. All I'm suggesting is that if you don't want to be alone at Christmas or you feel depressed around the Christmas time, then do something giving. Stop sitting around waiting and hoping somebody's going to do something for you. Go and do something for somebody else. You'd be amazing how incredibly rewarding it is to spend time with people who are grateful to you.
And also, I've just got a message from Adam from Leeds, and he's got in touch saying that he's read a recent report by the Scottish Parliament Committee stating that being lonely is as bad for people's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a really bizarre comparison. I'm not quite sure I get my head around that. But I would say that loneliness is one of the main reasons for depression, and therefore it is one of the most serious human conditions. We need, it's one of our basic human needs, is comfort and companionship. Without it, we kind of die a little bit.
Right, okay, well thank you for that, Rachel.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I mean, all the talk of loneliness at the minute is making me want to find out how the speed daters are getting on. So let's rejoin Aaron and see if love is in the air.
Okay, so as you can see, everything's going really well here. We've had some pretty good conversations, some, you know, people who I think the sparks are definitely flying with, but I think we should get that from them and have a quick chat and see how they're getting on. Let's have a chat with these guys.
Hello.
How's it all going?
Yeah, it's going good, thanks.
Met some nice girls?
Hopefully.
Hopefully?
Is that not a good answer?
What was the pause? I mean, come on, mate.
Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have thought about it. There was too much thought into it there, wasn't there?
You've got a plethora of gorgeous girls in the room.
I met some wonderful...
And you're here all dimmy downer. No one likes a dimmy downer, mate.
Sorry. No, I've met some wonderful girls.
Fantastic. Is Abby your favourite?
I've only met two yet. Yeah, she's my favourite.
Don't play favourites, keep your options open, mate. Think about it. How you feeling, Abby?
I'm feeling fabulous.
Fabulous, you hear that? That's how you should be reacting,
That's how I
mate.
should have answered.
Yeah, a bit more chipper. All right. How are those guys going over there? We'll have a quick listen in. How you feeling?
Good. Pretty good, man, huh? Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's enough out of you, mate. Calm down, we've had enough. Anyway, you can see they're all getting on pretty well here. I've embarrassed enough of them. We'll head back to you in the studio and check in for the winners.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that, Aaron.
So for all those looking for love this Christmas, you'll have noticed that you are spoilt for choice of how you can date in the 21st century, thanks to advances in technology. But has this improved the chances of finding love? Here's Cameron to tell us more.
My dearest Josephine, it has been so long since I last saw your beautiful face and felt the warm touch of your embrace. My darling, I wish there was a way in which I could contact you on more regular occasion.
Hey up, I've got a match on Tinder. Hang on, what am I doing? This isn't the way people date anymore. It's the 21st century. It's all about using these things. And with the rise of social media and advances in technology, it's all about one thing: online dating.
On the first 3 pages of Google alone, I managed to come across 19 dating sites. There's around 7.8 million UK people using these websites, with Match.com being the most popular. Users are able to make a public profile, where they're required to upload a biography and the best selfie.
So online dating revolutionised the way in which we date, but about 3 years ago an even bigger technology came on the scene in the form of a dating app called Tinder, which means you can date on the go, wherever you go. Now the format's pretty simple. All you've got to do is connect your Facebook profile to the app, and then you swipe left to avoid them, and you swipe right if you potentially want to find a match and speak to the love of your life. Now, it's all based on photographs, and you don't actually put a bio on, which means that people are judging you for your looks. Now, I think personally that this has taken the romance out of dating, but other people think otherwise, which is why I'm off to the streets of Manchester to see what other people's opinions on the matter are.
I don't think Tinder's for dating, personally. I do know some people that have met people through Tinder and have gone on to relationships. So I'm not saying it's completely, but I think Tinder's probably primarily not used for dating.
All of my male and female friends alike, they go on Tinder and other dating apps, and it is just for the casual, like, feelings-free sex.
People are now dating by the picture on a phone and by the picture on a computer, and that's probably not the right way to do it.
It's a different culture. It's a bit more acceptable to, you know, have hookups or whatever you call them, or friends with benefits or whatever.
And I don't think it's that less people specifically looking for love. I just think now you can just have whatever you want. Like, there's no, because I think a while ago you had to either be in a relationship or be dating or be single, but now you can be like anywhere in the middle.
But deep inside, I think everybody wants to once experience love or something.
So we've got a few mixed opinions from the interviewers, whether the dating apps have taken out the romance of dating. So what's your opinion?
I actually don't think dating has ever been romantic. I think it's a complete nightmare. Trying to find love is one of the most nerve-wracking, terrifying. You become clumsy, you become an idiot, you don't know what you're saying. I just don't think dating has ever been romantic. The idea of getting together that is romance is that kind of, you know, meeting your eye across a crowded room and suddenly realising that there was no other human being but them for you. That, you know, maybe that happens, and that's what I'd call romantic. I don't call being set up by your mate to meet somebody in a bar romantic, and I don't think that's any different from seeing someone's face on a Facebook app, on an app or on the internet, and saying, well, I like their face, I like what that person says about themselves, I'll meet them. I actually don't think it's that different. It seems colder because it's electronic, but actually there's something quite powerful, I think, in being able to say, you know, no, 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 maybe, no, no. It's that idea that we didn't do that anyway. That makes me laugh. Like a lot of people in my generation say, oh, you know, kids today, they're all about sex, or they're all about, you know, they're not settling, they don't understand how you have to make compromises in a relationship. And I think, no, it's nonsense. Nothing's changed. It's just that instead of looking across a crowded bar, we're looking at it through a screen, and I'm not sure it makes that much difference.
Do you think a lot of them will put acts on, and because they can say what they want, and half of the time they don't even look like the pictures? And
but that's what they do in a bar. You meet somebody in a bar and they say, yeah, hey, I'm this great person, and you're wearing your Sunday best. And you're saying, yes, me too, I'm really great. And as soon as you get to know each other, you realise that actually that's just the front aspect of you. And then there's another aspect and another aspect. And then after 2 years, you finally get to know who that person is.
Well, we've had a tweet from Sammy in Birmingham who's tweeted saying people just date however they want nowadays. I can remember a time when they were scared to tell their friends that they were online dating. What's your reaction to Sammy's comments there?
Yeah, I think there was a real taboo about online dating of any sort, and I was of the generation that watched that develop, and it was like, oh, it's for real saddos. Like, if you can't attract somebody at work, in a bar or at a party, then there's something really wrong with you, that you've got to go to these extra lengths to find someone. So I kind of love the fact that that's gone, that that isn't there anymore. People go, oh, well, you know, I don't have time to meet someone. I work really hard. I don't want to meet someone drunk in a bar, which is always a bad idea. So why not? You know, why not do this? Get rid of the taboos. It's all nonsense. It's all judging that you don't need.
Yeah, people are a bit more confident to say that they met online, and it's not they're not ashamed of it or anything like that.
It's got a bit more New York dating, hasn't it? It's the idea that you can go out and have a coffee with somebody, say, oh, I like your picture, I like what you say, you're not that much of an idiot, let's go and meet for a coffee. And then you find out whether or not they were full of it after all, or whether or not they were what they said they were, and then you take it from there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your opinion there. So we've been chatting a lot about ways to secure a date, but what happens when you do actually get a date? Many people fall at the first hurdle. So we've created another one of our weekly sketches to show you the things what not to do on a first date.
Women, if you expect equal rights and responsibilities, it's included in the bill. Don't expect him to pay for what you've just consumed. Put your card on the table. It's a nice gesture, and you can always refuse. No matter how attractive a person may be, the fact they simply cannot stop talking is a real put-off. A date consists of two people. Listen to each other. You might have more to talk about on a second date. A drink is a good idea to relax yourself, or for a bit of Dutch courage. But it's good to know your limits. Remember that your date wants to see you at the table, not under it. If you're big enough to go on a date, you should know how to eat with a knife and fork. Sharing the sights and sounds of your food won't go down well, and try to stick to your plate. Please don't show her your new Armani watch that matches your latest edition Ferrari. If you're really a hotshot, I'm sure she can work it out for herself. If she needs a jar opening, she'll ask you. Until then, just be yourself. Pay attention. I'm sure face Twittergram can wait a few hours. Don't accept the call. You won't seem important, just rude. Try to remember it's a first date, not a honeymoon. You're trying to lure someone in, not scare them away. Just because this was you and your ex's favourite haunt doesn't mean your new date needs to know that. Nor do they need to know how badly they treated you or how horrible their mum was. Best let sleeping dogs lie. I know you want to seem interested. There's nothing worse than a premature and badly judged laugh, followed by, my condolences, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise how dangerous hippos were. Awkward. I love her eyes. Can't stop looking into them. Okay, now I'm uncomfortable. Maybe if I smile, he'll stop. She smiled at me again. Get in. Plenty more where that came from. Oh no, he's definitely going to murder me. Might as well order dessert then.
We're keen to speak to our studio audience and find out about their first date disasters. So over in our audience we have Connor, and he's ready to tell us his story about his disastrous first date. Connor?
Well, it was, we met them on Tinder. And we started chatting for a few days and we decided to meet up. We met in London at the Selfridges Cafe. We were having coffee, as you do on a date. And then she went to the bathroom, as one does if you drink too much. And she took everything with her, and, well, basically she didn't come back. So I was just sitting there for an hour on my own, just waiting for her to come back. But then I got a text about an hour, 45 minutes later saying, I've gone home. So I was just sitting there on my own for a bit, looking like a complete melon.
Why do you think it was? What did you say anything to her, or did you do something that you shouldn't have done?
I thought it was going pretty well, but obviously that wasn't the case because she was like, no, I'm not having any of this.
So it must have been something that you would have said or would have done.
Maybe. To be honest, it was so long ago I can't remember what I said, but I hope not. I hope she's not watching this, so it'd be quite embarrassing if she was.
Well, thank you very much there for your story there, Connor. You've had some interesting responses there.
So we've just seen some various examples of common mistakes that people make on a first date. So why are first dates like one of the most difficult things regarding dating?
I think it's because you have to go and sell yourself. Or that's how it feels. It's like I've got to go and sell myself to somebody. I've got to go and persuade them that I'm worth spending time with, that I'm fanciable, that I'm sexy, that I'm witty, that's very important, that I'm intelligent, that I'm clever, that I'm loved, that I'm popular. Oh, no pressure then. It's really difficult if you go into a date thinking, I want that person to like me. The best piece of dating advice I could give to anybody is when you go into a date, ask yourself whether you like them. If you focus on whether you like them, what you think about them, what have they got to say about themselves? Be curious. Then you feel less self-conscious about yourself. There's less pressure on yourself to make some kind of an impression. But also, there is nothing more flattering to another human being than somebody who is interested in them. So ask questions about them, you take the emphasis off you, and you flatter them with your curiosity. So that's probably the best piece of dating advice I could give.
So for all those looking for love this Christmas, is there an element of psychology behind the first perfect date that should be considered, or?
I think that the thing I just said about making sure you set your focus away from yourself, but also before you go into any date situation, don't expect it to turn into a relationship, a romantic one. Go in hoping at the very best that you have a nice couple of hours, that you have some fun, that you make a connection with somebody new. If there is something more, you'll know really quickly what's going on.
Do you think there'll be a connection there
Yeah,
straight away?
I think when you feel a connection with someone, you kind of know it. The tragedy of dating is that you don't always know if it's reciprocated. So we all go through that absolute fear of going, oh, wow, I'm completely blown away by this person. And you kind of take a trip on the way you feel about it and then have to sit there drumming your fingers, looking at your phone every 30 seconds. Have they texted? Have they texted? Have they texted? Because you don't know if they reciprocate it. So I think don't put any pressure on the first date. It is literally just the first date that you've spent chatting to this person who may or may not become a feature of your life.
So would you say that your main advice to give people for a first date is just to ask questions, seem interested, and don't to have already married this person in your head and just take it as it comes, and whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, I think if there's any kind of sense that you're looking at that person and naming your children as you're doing it, then that's probably gonna freak them out.
So you need to slow down and rewind.
I mean, you're kind of describing it as if it's like a job interview. Don't go in there expecting that you've already got the job.
Do you know what? It is a job interview. It's kind of a job interview, but it's not. You're not just being interviewed. You're interviewing. Most people are so self-conscious that they forget to ask questions about the other person. They forget to care about am I interested in you? Never mind whether you like me or not. Do I actually like you? Am I enjoying this conversation? Do I fancy you? Are you stimulating me mentally, spiritually, emotionally? And that's a lot to ask for a first date. So, and the best advice really is don't have sex.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Rachel. Okay, so we've got Aaron who's standing by with the speed daters to reveal who's going on the first date.
Okay, so we're back with the speed daters now. They're all pretty well wrapping up and they've been getting on really well. Unfortunately, there can only be one couple that we award the date to Nando's. So we'll go around now quickly and grab our winners. Could it be these guys? Don't know. Could it be these two? Who knows? Could you be the winners?
I think we could, to be honest, after this conversation.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Don't know about them. How about these two? How are you guys getting on?
Good, thank you.
Getting on really well. Fantastic. Well, Miss Jordan, can you please stand up and come with me? I'm going to need you for a second.
I'm really tall.
I know you made me look short. Bloody hell. All right, no, that's all right. Come with me, love. Right. You stand right there. Look at the camera. How you feeling, Tommy?
Good, good.
You ready for love?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's ready. Get up, Tom. Get up. Get up. You guys are going to be going to Nando's. Come over, Tom. Get in, mate. Don't be shy. Don't be scared.
Bye.
So, how do you feel about it? I've managed to make myself look as short as possible with my choices.
Sorry about that.
I don't know how I did that. Now, I have for you in this envelope a date for 2 to Nando's. So I'm going to hand it to you, Jordan.
Oh, thank you.
Just in case you reconsider, Tom, and want to call me. All right? So that'll give you the option if you've got the date. Anyway, guys, congratulations. We're going to have to go back to the studio now and... oh, sorry. Tom, are you excited?
I'm excited.
All right. Anyway, guys, that's all we've got time for. That's Life's been a great success with the speed dating. Back to you in the studio.
Oh, no, isn't that wonderful? Congratulations to our winners and good luck to everyone else who took part in the speed dating.
We'd like to say a big thank you to our dating expert Rachel and also our wonderful studio audience and of course the viewers at home.
And that's all we've got time for this week and for 2015. So we'll see you again in the new year and we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Goodbye.
There you go, this is where we have a little chat.
This is where